Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left.
Well, let's keep going down the left branch, and see what we get. Oh. Didn't know you could close that door. Well, I guess nowhere to go but forward.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
To be rich, is it a crime? To commit crimes, isn't it rich? What's a life it would be to have to pick just one? Don't know who's writing all this poetry on the bathroom wall, but it certainly rhymes. I'll say though, this is a nice bathroom, except for the fact that there's a giant window right next to the toilet. I was like, wow, this feels really nice, but then people just see me. That'd be uncomfortable for everyone involved. Unless you're into that kind of thing. In which case, I ain't judging. This was locked before. Who's shooting the panda? Business strategy? Wow. So where does this go? The narrator is oddly silent. Kind of figured he'd have something to say about this situation. Well, guess we're just gonna chill here on this elevator ride. Is that the narrator? He's singing along, that's funny. But again, I think this is such a interesting experience because like I keep mentioning, I don't know what is real. Well, more specifically, I don't know what is new. So it's very surreal to me. It adds a whole new dimension because I'm trying to guess what the heck is new and what the heck is part of the original game. How far ahead did they plan with the game, and how much further did they even plan? Crazy. The elevator is going to reach an ending soon, right? What the We're back here. No wonder the narrator wasn't saying anything. Bruh.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Alright, let's do what we're supposed to do this time and see what happens.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Guess we'll find out. If we have the strength to find... You know what I mean.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Huh. Kind of, ironic, given how this game is going.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Alright, let's see if we can turn it off then.
Blackness, and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
This ending is very interesting considering what we have learned about this whole game thus far. Especially with the relationship between the narrator and Stanley.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Achievements unlocked. Beat the game. Nice. And then we're right back here. So, let's look at this from, like, the narrator's... Well, not from the narrator's perspective, but let's look at this at the narrator, right? He's so obsessed with telling a story utilizing Stanley as a character in it, but the story kind of sucks. He just wakes up one day, free from a machine. He wanders through the building, opens up, presses a bunch of random buttons. Then he presses one more button, and then he's free. Gotta say, that's a terrible story from the writer's standpoint. But even then, I don't get it. What's the point? Stanley ends up back here anyway. Not like he feels happy. I wonder if Stanley himself is even capable of being happy. But...
when Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
well, we've looked through everything that we can see on our left. At least for now. Nothing obvious comes to mind for me. So...
this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
What's this say? What is this place? The weeks I spent here, they feel like there was...
Really, really worth it being here in the room.
I'm...
So utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings.
I'm reading, asshole. Shut up. Where even was I? The weeks I spent here, they feel like seconds.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on...
The weeks I spent here, they feel like mere seconds. Seconds by extension that are so short, so right as to not exist. No, so short they might not exist. It is the nature of this room. It's something. It calls to me, drips at my soul, shed... Wow, I can't read it. It's like the handwriting gets worse the more it goes. I even begin something. Very I say the lounge this called me? Yes, but a cryptic tongue created specifically for the very communication sound saved in purpose? A single? Also, I'm hungry. Damn. Okay. Alright,
This is the story of a man named...
let's get Narrator back again. I wonder if a different iteration of Stanley wrote that. I'm gonna have to, like, look it up to see what the hell that letter was trying to say, because I could not read that.
Phenom, did you really mute me just to try and read this? Wow. And why is it that I sound so robotic now? First you mute me and then you corrupt my wonderful voice. I have to say, out of all the Vtubers, and tubes in general that have played this game, you annoy me the most. You're almost as bad as Stanley. But, unlike you, I'm a kind person. I will let the audience read the note with no distractions from either of us. Here, viewers, I stole Phenom's storytelling office, so you can read in peace. Okay, I have to ask, how have you seen this office? Between you and me, Phenom doesn't strike me as a man of class. But he has such a nice office, with a fireplace too. What does a goofball like him even do in here? Spout memes, references bisexuality. Dear viewers, I ask you to explain, but alas, I don't think you can communicate through this medium. Do you see what I mean? Well, I suppose you could leave a comment. Like, comment and subscribe, as people like to say on this website. How droll. Anyway, I think there was plenty of time to read this piece of paper. I'll let Phenom get back to stumbling through my game.
Do not jump from the cargo lift while in motion. It will cause death. Penalty for misuse of cargo lift, $1,000. Penalty for jumping off cargo lift, $5,000.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Well, whoever she is, she can ask my goddamn nuts.
Really? But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Damn fucking right.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
I wanted to check out that area over there.
I realize
Because I already
that
know
investing
what's
your
up
trust
there.
in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you forgot. Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you?
Yes.
I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Okay. Sure. I've seen some of the things that you do, narrator. I'm not really convinced. Let's see.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Alright. Let's give him a chance and see what he has to say.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you. What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
This is a nice visual. Wonder what's through this door, though.
No, wait. Where are you going?
Ah.
Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Oh, boy.
Good, good. We can't be too safe. Promise me you won't go back there. Just stay here.
Now, here's the upsetting thing. I have way too much empathy, even for basic video game narrator characters like this. So, if I go through with resetting the game that way, that would unfortunately make me very uncomfortable. So for the time being, let's restart this way. Because there is a lot more to this game than meets the eye so far. That much is apparent. Oh.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Huh. So, I'm
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open
curious
doors,
to
he
see
entered the door
more
on his
of the
left.
new content. I would very much like to see it. So,
Yet there was not a single person here either.
let's see if we can
Feeling a
figure
wave
out
of
how to
disbelief.
activate it.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the
Here we
controls,
go.
did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes.
Wow.
Now this is making.
I
things
thought
little
that
more
was a
fun,
lot
isn't it,
more,
Stanley?
actually. I thought it'd be
It's
5.
your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in
Alright.
mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it.
Let's
Mere
see if
moments
there's
until
anything.
the bomb goes off. But what precious
Hold on.
moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me.
I don't think this
Where
door
we're
was
going, what all this means. I
ever
barely
open.
know where
Okay.
to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated.
Huh.
All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp.
Oh,
To
shit.
say this, though, this version of events has been rather
That's a
amusing.
lot little time.
Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better.
Damn it.
My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not?
Yeah, that's something.
These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to strike. 30
Okay.
seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life? or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
And yeah. As you can see, the narrator still, well, not still, is a bit of a prick. He is a well, I don't know if megalomaniac is the correct word, but he is a control freak. He and Stanley are trapped in this game. He has control over the world, while I have control over the character in the world. If, as time goes along, he starts getting more and more malicious, taking out his anger at being trapped on poor Stanley here, and by proxy, us. Because without us, he wouldn't be stuck in this situation either. It's similar to what the female narrator said. The only way to change things is by quitting the game entirely. That's how you win.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
However, I am here to see new content. It's not that easy, is it? Well, let's go take a look.
New content? What does that mean, new content?
Yeah, that's what I've been looking for. I'm very curious now. Oh, I thought that was going to be a very short roller coaster ride. Seems like we're on a bit of an adventure now.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Wow.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Okay, I'm waiting for the punchline. Is it gonna be like what?
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Narrator, we're stuck.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Alright, let's see what they're gonna throw at us. I'm expecting it's gonna be something like a dog or something.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Okay. The joke has to be that there's nothing here, right? You have got to be kidding me. I had low expectations, but this is even less than what I expected.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle?
But I can't jump in this game. Oh shit, I can jump. Am I really expected to... Okay, let's see what happens. Actually, what's behind here? Where's that wire lead to?
Is that it?
Nothing?
Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Okay. I guess that's it for the jump circle. Way to be underwhelming. I hate the fact that those noises occur like... Oh, there we go. I hate those noises, man.
Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there.
Please don't.
I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box.
Please
the
don't.
Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And if... Oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Thank you for enjoying the new content.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Okay. Didn't even give me a choice to reset, actually. Oh. Oh. Okay. Damn. Alright. Here we go. Something new.
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Is that a key? No, that's a wrench. Wait, why would the narrator need a wrench to unhook the vent? Okay. Let's see it, narrator. You killed me brutally once. Twice, in fact. So, what you gotta show me?
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special, and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
Are we gonna end up in Skyrim? Whoa!
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
This is interesting. The greatest wealth is memory. Don't forget. Memory, sweet memory.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Why is the narrator Russian? Why is this in Russian? Anyway. Yeah, 2013 was a very different time in my life, so it's weird reminiscing about that time. The original remake. Yeah. Originally, Stanley Parable was a mod for Half-Life 2. And then they made it into a full-blown game. Yep, there's the demo. Go outside, don't play for 5 years. Yeah, they upped that to don't play for 10 years. That's nuts. Unachievable. It is impossible to get this achievement. It is if you're good enough with technical know-how. Nominee British Academy Award. Game Innovation. I wonder if this actually occurred. It looks real to me. New York Times. I don't even know if this is actually real. I'll have to look that up later. And that's the ending we got where Stanley died. What, are we just reminiscing here?
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. Games Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing.
Well,
it's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
It's been a while since I've heard the word Persona 3. Well, aside from Calliope's stream, anyway. But, yeah. This is weird. Like, I know this was meta, but this is a level beyond meta that I was not expecting. The tasteful, nostalgic, it was good. The original remake. Is this where I was before? No. But what's down here? Memory zone maintenance. Alright. Guess if I want to fuck with the narrator, that's where I go. This must have been the game's... No, I don't even know what this is.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games, and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
I can't tell if the character, if the creator of the game is speaking through the narrator, or if this is just the narrator's thoughts alone. Gotta say though, I wouldn't necessarily say some of those choices were enjoyable. They were good, no doubt about it. Like, I enjoyed the game, but I'm not gonna... how do I put this? I enjoyed the game, but I'm not necessarily gonna enjoy being crushed, you know? Or blown up with a nuke.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again.
Well...
Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
What the hell?
Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here.
Wow.
Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
I doubt it, dude. Hey, that's recommended.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Huh. Yeah, I imagine that this game would not be for quite a few people. Hell, I'm not sure if this video will be for many people. with how this game has been going thus far. But man, the veneer of nostalgia sure is slipping away pretty quick for the narrator, isn't it?
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I?
I mean, you can be at
Don't tell
times.
me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. I don't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't.
Oh.
Yeah. What an awful memory to have to hold on to.
I
These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Man, I want to sit the narrator down and have a talk with them, because I honestly feel the same way in a lot of situations with things that I create, from stories to video games to machinimas to whatnot. I don't know. I guess I could say, like, if in case anyone is feeling this way, I'm often given an allegory to help with this, where two chefs are asked to make a cake, right? And both the cakes look delicious, but one cake is obviously better than the other. And one of the chefs is like, "Oh, my cake sucks. I made so many mistakes when making this." And then some other dude walks along and is like, "Oh, great, 2 cakes." Nobody's really gonna care about the mistakes and whatnots unless they spend way too much time critiquing that kind of thing. So honestly, you should be first and foremost happy with what you create. Of course, that's before you start putting a price tag on it, but that's a different thing entirely. Well, it's stopped raining now. Let's see. Oh.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. Skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record.
Narrator, don't...
Positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
I wouldn't recommend it, narrator, but okay. Oh. Huh.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people, and if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story, and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah 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 blah. I've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 240.
I was thinking, the narrator would actually have a monologue that would be something that wasn't rambling. Apparently not. I gotta say, considering what I've done thus far in the game, I thought that this part would be like, hey, you can go off the beaten path here, but it is a little linear, which is surprising. Then again...
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourish and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination. If by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time just has a much grander sort of tone? It has a mouthfeel that is rich with ambition and history. Ambitious history, if you will.
Yeah.
See, now you've gotten me going back to manifesto in this situation frequently.
Yeah.
I'm going to say each word back and forth in repeated succession until I become sick of one or the other, in which case the word I am not sick of shall be the victor.
All right.
It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley. It's rescued me from disaster in countless situations. All right, here we go. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto.
You know, there is this thing where if you say like a word too much, eventually your mind gets so used to the word that eventually the word starts to lose meaning. One of the phrases I like to use is, if everything is X, then nothing is X. Basically stealing the thing from Syndrome in The Incredibles. It is how something loses meaning or something, and it will make sense for the other. Like, maybe I could start that now. Let's pick a random character and have him start doing some good things and bad things over and over again to see how well he...
Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review.
They
or
probably
at least change
won't.
some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although
Probably.
I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review, merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review.
I doubt
so
that'll
that the
happen.
feature is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with Steam altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial.
That'd be
Something
too
along the
petty,
lines of,
dude.
This game is the best game.
Yeah, no.
Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality. How else to describe the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe? Such a revolutionary step forward in the lineage of one of the most...
You guys don't look at me. I like listening to this guy ramble. If you want to skip this, you gotta do it yourself.
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer.
Really?
That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes?
The door's gone.
Unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here?
Yeah, the door's
Where
gone.
did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room?
You're the
I'm
narrator.
quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place?
What?
I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window, or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button.
It wasn't me that pressed the
I
button.
swear there was.
It was someone else.
Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door.
What do
We
you
need a
expect me
door
to
of
do
some
here,
kind.
man?
I can work with any kind of door, as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door. I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise. You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button. Please, please, please do not press the skip button. Just wait here for me, and don't press the skip button. Got it? Yes, good. I'll be right back.
Look, man, I don't plan on pissing off the narrator, so you see that thing down there? Yeah, I'm sure you guys got it handled. I'll just wait right here.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours.
That wasn't me!
You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here, and more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it, and I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh my God. And it's all because of those reviews.
Oh, poor guy.
Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback.
Who
Why
can?
was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are. What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child. Wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative comment. What does such an impulse serve? For whose benefit is this?
Your ego,
Here
you
I
say.
am now, stuck in a room, waiting for you to press this button, and to become frozen in time, knowing that you're going to do it, and that I'm going to be stuck all alone, and that I had the power to prevent it all from happening, if only I'd held my tongue. It's all out of my control now. Just you. Just your decision as to exactly when you're going to make me suffer, to leave me all alone. Surely you will. I don't doubt it. Surely you'll press that button again, leaving me here. And surely you'll put your own desire to see what's next ahead of my need for company, for companionship. Surely you'll not be moved by my howls of fitful anxiety, that you sit with me and just stay here. Oh, no, 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 I know you too well. You'll be leaving me. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews.
Don't tell me
those
he
reviews
loops.
that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback.
I don't want to do it.
Why was it so important
But-
for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter
Well-
so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea.
Sorry,
who they
man.
are. Oh, Stanley, you're back.
Oh,
You're
shit.
back. Oh my goodness, I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week.
A week?
Or 2 weeks? I've been sitting here all that time, just sitting here, not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along?
What the fuck, man?
Yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in the stretch of emptiness between you and me. When you press that button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. And in those moments, the emptiness folds itself outward in between the two of us, and I am suspended in its unyielding quietness. I can feel the edges of my reality curdling inward and decaying. I can tell that I am becoming less and less real. Yet to speak to you now, I am alive. I am truly and completely here. I am a being. I am someone. I am something. I am being listened to. I am being recognized. The emptiness between us has collapsed, and I feel right now like I am not a work of fiction. I feel as though I occupy space in this world again, and I have cast a shadow onto the wall. You see what I'm saying, don't you? You can see what this means to me. I'm so clear about it now, Stanley. I feel as certain about this as I've ever felt about anything at all. I feel renewed. I feel restored, and already I can sense the looming silence as you will press the button for the next time. What a terrible dread it strokes in my heart to think of it, to think of returning to such coldness. Come, let us sit in silence together here for just a moment. Let us anticipate it. Let us welcome it. Let us not run from it.
If you can see it coming and you're ready, alright. But fuck, man. I said before, meta-narratives have the potential to be very effective, but it also has the potential to make some truly existential horror for the characters. Because I only just realized, the narrator is just a voice. He has no physical representation in this game, the only place where he exists. So if he's using his voice and nobody's there to even hear him, it's sort of similar to what people say about trees and forests falling over by themselves. If a narrator is alone in a game speaking to himself, does he exist? Is he fiction? The scary thing is, he is fiction. Kind of, but now I'm rambling. Let's do it.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome.
Oh.
I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time, I stopped keeping track after a year.
A year?
I've never sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year. Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley.
Oh, no.
Days, months, I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence, without action or outcome. It was divorced entirely from the question of free will that you and I have squabbled over for so long. There could be no one ending, no singular outcome of events, not if all events existed in the same moment, and I felt freed. I felt unburdened by the need to manifest a particular outcome into being.
Nice.
I saw that I could allow myself to exist along all timelines, and that each of them was simply a strand in the web of my being. It was incredible. The spaciousness, the equanimity of the moment, both singular and infinite. For the longest time, this was my experience.
I'm guessing there's a
then
but.
This moment passed, and the most unyielding fear I have ever known crept into my mind.
Yep.
And it is this sensation that I have been experiencing now for longer than I could have ever expected was possible. I have been waiting for you. Not that you might save me or do something to fix it, but merely to state for you the plain fact of this manner of existence. I wish you to feel afraid as I do, that perhaps one day this state of mind will consume you as well.
Uh-oh.
Perhaps you will somehow, in some way, have to live as I do now, and I wish for you to know how excruciating it is, and for you to be in true terror of its eventual arrival. If I can only do this, only this one thing, perhaps it will bring me the smallest moment of peace in the darkness.
Well, I was expecting him to get really, really mad. And by the sounds of it, he's getting really, really mad. I was not expecting existential horror in my goddamn Stanley Parable game, but apparently that's where we are. Fuck. Man, when's the door gonna show up? I'm scared. I don't want to know. I can't even imagine what's going to happen next. The narrator, it was a it was 5 seconds, no, a minute, 30 minutes, a week, a year. What's it gonna be this time? Well, I guess we're about to find out. Is that... I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm really scared. Is that... Okay, I'm going. What? Oh, shit! I thought that sound, that scraping was... I thought that scraping was him running closer. I think it was the sound of him on a life support machine. I think that beeping means he's gone. Let's start again. Yeah, let's do... But what if... Fuck it. Now I'm the one going through an existential dread here. That's the issue here. I'm not just playing for me, I'm also playing for you guys. And I feel you'd want to see how far this goes, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared. I'm really, really scared to see what happens if I press that button again. Or what even happens if I wait here for a while. So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave for like a few minutes, and the future me editing this will see if anything happens. And yeah, I'm going to go into this corner. I'm going to disappear. Me in my physical form will leave for a few minutes, and the future me will be here editing to see if anything happens. So I'm just going to go leave for a little while, because I don't think I've been this scared in a while. Jeez. Hello again. I took a few minutes to regain my composure. I'm ready now. Let's see what happens next.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, "Entertain us." It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, "He's talking too much," they said. "First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up." It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability, it's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, "Oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley Parable. We demand it." And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people, because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without entertainment, we would have to face inward toward the cruel bleakness inside ourselves. We would turn to look at our deeper nature and find a resounding emptiness gazing back with unyielding aggression. And so because of this, we require that our amusements and our playthings and our flights of fancy be so impossibly captivating that they consume all of our attention, turn our heads completely away from the bleakness. In effect, we have demanded that our entertainment be the...
I think the narrator has started to lose... Well, not started to lose it. He has lost it. Even though he's still making some salient points, but...
yeah. A lapse of ourselves. What a pitiful reflection of humanity these entertainments are. What a shameful mirror to the human spirit they project. I'm not mad. I'm not mad about any of this. I'm at peace with it. I am the calm center of gravity around which these perversions hurl themselves. I am a waypoint for reasonable and collected discourse.
You certainly don't sound it, dude.
They're the ones who couldn't stand the idea of me using my game to try to say something. Maybe they were just jealous of me. Yes. Yes, of course.
Well, he's not speaking anymore. And it seems like the button's no longer usable. Oh, there we go. Well, I'll leave him to his silence. Let's see what else happens.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
It's raining? Well, not raining, but like,
never the end, is never the
seems it's raining more outside and it's dribbling in.
Is never the end, is never the end.
It's doing it more now. Once again, the narrator's quiet. Don't know how much longer is going through. It went from a year to who knows how much. I skipped like 3 times now. Narrator's mind space must be going even worse since his, this is his memory palace, basically. He's essentially trapped within his own mind. Oh shit. Speaking of trapped within his own mind, it's getting much worse. Oh hey, there's light. And flies? Seems if this place deteriorates enough, we should be able to get our way out of here. Huh. It seems like the narrator's truly at peace now. Then again, according to what he said before, during his 1 year of silence, he was at peace, and then it got a lot worse. Hopefully that doesn't apply here. It's applied here. Okay. What the? Oh, that's him screaming in the distance. And now it's just silence. That's not just silence. That's not just silence. Let's get out of here. Oh. Oh. Oh, shit. This is what this dude's mind is now. An empty expanse of nothingness. He's practically brain dead. Well, we got out of that room somehow. Billions, trillions of years went by. Wonder how far we'll be able to go. And that's one of the endings. We're back here again! Fuck! Ah! God damn it. What the fuck? I have no... I don't know what to say. What the fuck, man? You can't just do that and then have the game just go forward like nothing happened. But the game's always done that. Okay. Well,
all of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
if you enjoyed the video, feel free to like, subscribe, and maybe watch some more. Be seeing ya.